What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about professions and what I think are the top 5 best professions for you to take on your journey to level 25 in Phase 1 of Season of Discovery. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so first up on the list, my favorite profession, engineering. Engineering can benefit every single player. Everyone can use something from engineering, especially in Season of Discovery at this low level bracket. The first thing to take note of is that we're going to be able to get the green tinted goggles, which give you 8 stamina and 7 spirit, the bright eye goggles, which give you 9 stamina and 9 spirit, and then a ton of different tools to increase your DPS in raid, give you more survivability in PvP, and also make you a lot more deadly out in the world. For starters, we have solid dynamite, which would be used in PvE mainly, either in dungeons or in raid, because you have to stand still to throw it, but it does 213 to 287 fire damage in a 5-yard AoE radius. Another great thing we can get is Goblin Jumper Cables. Goblin Jumper Cables are a trinket that'll give you a chance to resurrect players, whether it's in raid, in dungeon, out in the world, Warsong Gulch, wherever you are, even if your class doesn't have a resurrect. Keep in mind though, it doesn't always work 100% of the time. Another great item you can get are the Goblin Landmines. These are landmines that you can place on the ground that deal 394 to 506 fire damage when a creature or player passes it. I've actually seen some pretty cool PvP plays with Goblin Landmines, so these are a must-have, especially for the crazy amount of world PvP that's going to be going on. And of course, we can't forget about the Iron Grenades. These are going to be amazing in PvP, whether it's in Warsong Gulch or open world. The best part about grenades is that you can cast them while moving, so you could be chasing someone down and be flinging it, and as long as you time it right and you know where they're going to walk and you hit them with it, it's going to do 132 to 218 fire damage, and it's going to stun them for 3 seconds. So now maybe you're out in Ashenvale trying to do some quests, or maybe you're looking for world PvP and you come across a Frost Mage. Now, one thing that engineering can definitely help you with at this level is fighting a Frost Mage. You can craft an Ice Deflector. Basically what the Ice Deflector does is it's an on-use, so when you use it, you gain a shield that will absorb up to 600 frost damage that lasts 1 minute, and it's on a 15-minute cooldown. This definitely will come in handy when you're trying to fight off all those pesky frost mages. And last but certainly not least, we have the Discombobulator Ray. This item is great for PvP. It has an on-use that basically transforms a target into a leper gnome, reducing its melee and spell damage by 40 and movement speed by 20% for 12 seconds. It has 5 charges and a 1-minute cooldown. This is going to be a lot of fun to use in open world PvP. So basically, if you want to make yourself more threatening in PvP, whether it's Warsong Gulch or open world, or you want to do more DPS in raid, engineering is going to be a must-have for you. Moving on to number 2 on the list. Number 2 for me would be tailoring, especially if you're a caster. Early on, tailoring is amazing because you're able to craft yourself bags, but that's not why I'm picking it. Tailoring is super important, especially in Season of Discovery for all casters, because it's going to give you access to a really great piece of gear that's going to be best in slot in Phase 1. So right off the bat, you probably all know the Spider Silk Boots, which are blue cloth boots that are BOE that give you 4 stamina, 4 intel, and 7 spirit. In Season of Discovery, they added a new pair of boots that only tailors are going to be able to use, meaning you need to be a tailor to equip and use these boots. These boots are going to be the Extra Planar Spider Silk Boots. They're cloth boots that give you 4 stamina, 4 intellect, 7 spirit, 7 spell damage, 1% spell hit, and an on-use effect that will reduce your threat and reduce all damage you take by 30% and reduce your damage done by 30% for 6 seconds. Basically a really nice threat reduction cooldown that will also decrease your damage temporarily for a few seconds, but if you're about to pull threat on the meter, this is going to be really nice to use. But aside from the on-use, that 1% spell hit and 7 spell damage is more than enough to make these boots absolutely worth it. Moving on to number 3, leatherworking. Leatherworking is going to be pretty essential if you're playing DPS warrior, a DPS paladin, rogue, feral druid, hunter, enhancement shaman, simply because the items you're going to be able to use by being a leatherworker in this phase are going to be amazing. Right off the bat, you guys know the Deviate Scale Belt, which is a great leather belt that gives you 5 agility, 6 stamina, and 3 spirit. We have the Toughened Leather Gloves that give you 6 agility, 3 stamina, 6 spirit, and then we have the Void Touched Leather Gauntlets. These are leather gloves that give you 3 stam, 6 intel, 6 spirit, 1% spell hit, and an on-use effect that will increase your spell damage and threat by 10% for 10 seconds on a 10-minute cooldown. This would be used on like boomkins, elemental shamans. That would be absolutely best in slot for your gloves. Then you can also craft the void touched leather gloves that are also leather gloves that give you 6 agility, 6 stamina, 3 spirit, 1% hit, and an on-use effect that increases your attack speed and threat by 10% for 10 seconds on a 10-minute cooldown. This would be used on your feral druids, your rogues, your hunters, your enhancement shamans, your fury warriors, maybe even your ret paladins. These gloves are not going to be something you want to pass up on, so consider leatherworking if you're looking for that extra hit and that nice 10% boost to your attack speed. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have blacksmithing. Now, blacksmithing has always been really good in vanilla. However, in Season of Discovery, we've gotten some crazy improvements. Now, you all probably know the Shining Silver Breastplate, which is the mail chest piece that gives you 14 strength and 6 stamina. However, in Season of Discovery, they added, of course, a new one, the Shifting Silver Breastplate, which is a mail chest piece that gives you that 14 strength and 6 stamina, but it also will give you 1% hit, with an equip effect that has a high chance of inflicting a curse upon attackers, causing the attacker to take additional damage from all sources in the raid. Now, the best thing about this is that if you are a warrior or a paladin tank, you are going to want to be wearing this because that curse will boost the entire raid group's DPS. So it's an absolute must-have. Some other new items that blacksmiths will be crafting in Season of Discovery are the Black Fathom Sharpening Stones. These sharpening stones will increase your chance to hit by 2%. So if you're dual wielding, you can put one on each weapon and gain 4% chance to hit. However, these only work inside the BFD raid. So obviously those are going to be your go-to sharpening stones. But let's not forget about the solid sharpening stones and the solid weight stones to increase your weapon damage by 6, maybe when you're out in Warsong Gulch or in open world PvP. And we also can't forget about the steel weapon chain. This thing is absolutely essential for PvP. At level 25, I'm pretty sure only Warrior and Rogue are the only classes that can disarm you, so I wouldn't worry about this too much. However, it's always good to have some kind of weapon with a weapon chain on it when you're fighting a Warrior or a Rogue that maybe you can throw it on so that you cannot get disarmed. And this will really become useful later on. Now, coming in at number 5, we have Enchanting. Now, the one new thing that enchanters have gotten in Season of Discovery is the Black Fathom Mana Oil. So this is a mana oil that you're going to put on your weapon that's going to give you 12 MP5 and 2% spell hit, but again, it's only usable in BFD. So don't forget you also have minor mana oil, which is not that great. It just gives you 4 MP5 that you can use out in the world. But that Black Fathom mana oil is going to be absolutely essential for all caster DPS. Now, not only do you get to enchant your gear and do all that fun stuff with enchanting, but early on in Phase 1, when there's a fresh version of WoW, enchanting is a massive moneymaker. That first week, when everyone's just getting in for the first time, just starting to level up, crafting and selling wands is a huge profit, and you can also disenchant all greens that you come by and start selling those mats on the auction house. Other than that, the benefits of enchanting are being able to pretty much turn any green into enchanting materials that you can sell, or use those materials to actually level enchanting and toss some free enchants out to your friends and guildmates. Especially in later phases, maybe Phase 2, Phase 3, when you start getting more rare enchanting materials, this is going to be a massive moneymaker. So that's it, guys. Those would be the 5 professions that I think will benefit people the most if you're looking for professions that actually benefit your performance in-game. All of these professions give you something that's going to increase your DPS, make you better at PvP, or something of the sort. Basically, what I'm trying to say is these will be the meta professions for some classes. Now, you don't have to follow the meta. This was simply made just because I've had a lot of people asking me what are the best professions for this, what are the best professions for that, so I felt like making this list and doing a little deep dive so you guys know what you're actually getting from each one of these professions. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really does help me out, and drop some comments down below. Let me know how you feel about it. If you have nothing to say at all, drop an emoji. It helps me out with the algorithm, and consider subscribing to the channel and turning on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you want to hang out with me live, I do stream on Twitch Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/hammerdance. I'll drop a link to that in the description below this video. And don't forget, if you want to join the guild that we're going to be starting in Season of Discovery, head on over to the community Discord. There's a link to that in the description as well. We're going to be starting a guild, having a few BFD groups going, doing some pre-made Warsong Gulches and just open world PvP raids. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to do something like that, head on over to the Discord. We've been discussing names and tabards and things like that. We're pretty excited. So anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.